Now we talked about the primary ignition circuit. Keep in mind the primary ignition circuit induces voltage into the secondary ignition to fire two gaps in the circuit. Rotor to cap gap and spark plug gap. Okay? Let's talk about it. Here is conventional ignition secondary voltage. We see again, just like the primary, we got the system voltage, the dwell section, the fire line as an induction kick. So the fire line is the amount of voltage required to initiate the spark across the spark plug. That's your fire line. So that's the voltage required to get the spark across the spark plug. From the cap and rotor, remember we got two gaps, the cap and rotor, down to the spark plug. And the resistance will show up on this line here. The spark line, the amount of time the sparks maintain across that gap. Between these two here, we can tell we got a short plug or open wire. Watching these two, they're always inverse of each other. The coil oscillation, the remaining energy after the spark plug, after the initial coil has fired. Now this is a parade pattern. We use this pattern, it's the most common pattern that's used when using an oscilloscope. You use this for comparison. You compare cylinder to cylinder. As you can see, excuse me. As you can see on the bottom here, 1, 8, 4, 3, 6, 5, 7, 2. This is a firing order. These all represent each individual cylinder. And when you look at the fire lines compared to each other, this one looks kind of high. And this one, you compare them to each other. You don't want to see, I think the generic spec is around 3 kV from each other. So if you had one that shot all the way up, that could indicate a problem. All the way down indicate a problem. Alright, so this is parade pattern is a good way to look at the fire line. You see, you've got a high resistance in the circuit. You can also see the spark line here also, but it's really good for the fire line. Spark line. Now, this is called the Raster. Also, I forgot to say, this is called the display pattern or parade pattern. Display or parade pattern. That's the name of this. This one's called the Raster or stack pattern when they stack on top of each other. Now on this one, it's a good way to look at the spark line. Okay, it's hard. You can see right now it's hard to see the fire line because they're all stacked over here. But it's a very good way to see the spark line for any abnormalities. See, this is your spark line. You're looking for anything abnormal. You can also see the coil oscillations. And in some cases, you go see the dwell section too, which I don't see here. But it's really good to see the spark line. Superimposed pattern. Sorry, this is called not stack, but it's called your superimposed pattern. When you're all on top of each other, you can see anything bouncing out that's varying. This is what this is used for. Now this is going to show you got a 1995 Chevy Camaro. The chicken lights on, lean cold, a misfire. And you can see it here. Look at this line right here. And a lot of times, this and here's the Raster pattern. You can see the difference there. Usually the fire line be on the side, tell you which one is which. But you can see here the difference. You can see it looks out. It doesn't look like the rest of it. You don't even see the spark line. It's kind of strange because usually we have the fire noise oh, they got the time base down here. Usually it had the fire noise up here too, like 184.36572 going up and going vertically so you can identify the cylinder. You can see the problem is up here. Superimposed, you see it? No spark line at all. It's like this. You can see the spark line all rest on, but you don't see no spark line on this one. And same here on superimposed, no spark line. A high fire line, no spark line. That usually indicates an open wire. Now here's a Chevy C1500 pickup truck. Check engine light on. 300, 305, 307 misfires. Vehicle has a noticeable misfire at idle with P0300, P0305, and P0307. Now here, let me see, can you pick it out? Let me give you a second. Let me give you 20 seconds, see if you see it. The problem here is 5 and 7. See, no reaction like the rest of them. Look at the fire. All the fire line looks about right within each other. But you can see here 5. See 5 and 7. See this? How there's no kind of turbulence, no reaction inside the combustion chamber like the rest of them. And I think this engine is being revved. But these two are not responding at all. It has no type of movement. And you really see it over here also. Look at the fire line. Look at the spark line. See how elongated it is? This one and this one. 1, 8, 4, 3, 6. So they count, the fire note is this way. 1, 8, 4, 3, 6, 5, 7, 2. Look at that elongated spark line. That means you got either a carbon foul plug, crack plug, or a closed plug. Right? The spark is taking an easier way to the ground. Elongated here, elongated here. It's abnormal than the rest of them. So in this case, you got 2 cylinders have a problem. Engine light, check engine light on. Code P0300, P0301. Vehicle has a noticeable misfire at idle and off idle. I'm going to give you 10 seconds. Let me see if you see anything wrong with this one. If you notice, number 1 here has no spark line. A lot of turbulence, but no spark line. Let's see a little bit here also, number 8. But you can see everything else has a spark line. A lot of turbulence in the combustion chamber could mean a sealing problem. I put it on the raster, you see it much better now. Remember, that's the parade pattern. When I stick it to raster, remember raster is a better way to see the spark line. You see, look at all this turbulence on the spark line. That's an indication that cylinder is not sealing. Look at the spark lines here. But number 1, that's a lot of turbulence on that line. And you can see it here also. This cylinder has an internal engine problem, like a valve, exhaust valve, intake valve. Something's going on inside the cylinder. Now what you're going to do is